After studying this module, we shall be able to know the nature and significance of personal selling, to identify various steps in personal selling process, to learn different activities involved in managing sales force, to evaluate the performance of sales force.
Personal selling is one of the most oldest forms of promotion and is considered to be one of the most effective promotional techniques because it enables interaction between the potential client and the company. We have studied marketing communication and we had studied various media that are used for marketing communication. But the major problem of most of the media was that they were usually one-sided. One-sided means that when you are into mass communication, when you are communicating with a large number of people, usually there is more flow of information from the sender to the receiver than vice versa. Personal selling is one of the ways by which you have close one-to-one interaction and you are able to understand the other person more effectively as compared to the non-personal methods of marketing communication. In the promotional methods, if you are using the technology, then you probably can reach out to large number of people very effectively. But when you use personal selling, here you can use your skills for building interpersonal relationships with the other party. Other party means the potential customers or the existing customers who are into the process of purchase decision making. This is quite beneficial for both the parties because both of you can understand each other. Personal selling can occur by many forms. Of course, the most traditional one is face-to-face meetings, when a person who is marketing or selling a product meets with the potential customer or the existing customer one-to-one. That's the traditional form of personal selling. Besides this, we are also having technology interfaces such as emails, telephones, or video conferences. Although we see this technology coming as a facilitator between the seller and the buyer, but the difference between this and other forms of technology assisted platforms where we have interaction is that they are not mass media. They are the media where you are having one-to-one communication with the people whom you want to talk to. And basically, any scenario where the salesperson is communicating immediately with the potential clients, we find that there is greater degree of engagement and interaction. Through various methods of promotion, personal selling has got its own advantages for the business firms. As Philip Kotler has very appropriately observed that the purpose of personal selling is not just to make the sales, but it is about building the customer relationships. Unlike advertising, personal message can be more specifically targeted to the individual prospects and can be altered according to the situation, according to the needs, if it fails to bring out the desired results. Whether a firm is in retailing, manufacturing, selling of goods or services, or is a large multinational client, or a small local startup, is out to make profit or even non-profit, in all probability at some point they have to rely on the personal contact with the consumers. They will need the promotion of products and services one-to-one. Personal selling is no doubt an additional costly method of reaching out to the consumers. Still, it has got its many advantages, particularly when we consider a person who is into direct contact with the prospective customers. The cost of recruiting a person is quite high. A lot of money is required to prepare the sales representatives, educating them for a range of goods and sales techniques, etc. Many firms are using personal selling very effectively as a means of reaching out to the customers. Who is not familiar with many names such as Avon, Amway, Tupperware, etc. Now these are the companies who very heavily rely upon the salespeople getting in touch directly with the prospective customers. Avon sell cosmetics, door to door with the help of their sales teams. Similarly, Tupperware is also selling its products, wherein the representative makes a group and then finally converts them into a network and then finally comes up with a very good sales strategy. Similar strategies followed by Amway. Uh, the first company to experiment, one of the pioneers to experiment into the personal selling in India was Eureka Forbes, and probably every door has had at least one visitor at one point or another where a person from this company has come to sell its most innovative products which are traditionally not available into the markets. These are the companies which have taught people with use of new products, and those are the people who have built one-to-one relationships with the customers, and today they are very big names into their own fields. Now, personal selling is not just at, say, salespeople getting in touch with the customers. Rather, one-to-one interactions, personal interactions also happen at top levels. The top chief executives, the managing directors, they get into networking with the major customers, the stock investors, the government officials, and other stakeholders. And we all know that the personal relationships, particularly in a society like India, they carry a lot of weight. According to American Marketing Association, personal selling is an oral presentation in conversation with one or more prospective purchasers for the purpose of making sales. In the recent times, in addition to personal contact, personal selling also involves face-to-face meetings with the help of telephone conversations, internet-based technologies such as video conferencing, text messaging, online chats, etc. All these help in reaching out to the consumers one-to-one directly.
To make the concept more clear, let's discuss the types of personal selling with examples. Retail selling. Retail selling is the sale of physical goods or merchandise, that is, done from a fixed location such as a boutique or kiosk, by mall, department store, or through small individual outlets. Field selling. It is one of the most traditional disciplines of marketing, where sales representative of the company meets potential customers by distributing, promoting, sampling, or auditing on the field to gauge the interest of the customer, which will help in understanding the dynamics of the specific trade in which the company deals with. Telemarketing. It is the act of marketing goods or services to potential customers over the telephone. Telemarketing may either be carried out by telemarketers or increasingly by automated telephone calls or robocalls. Inside selling. Inside sales defines selling of products that does not happen face to face in the field. So, it can be said that personal selling is an oral communication with potential buyers of a product with the intention of making a sale. The personal selling may focus initially on developing a relationship with the potential buyer, but will always ultimately end with an attempt to close the sale. It has its own advantages, as it allows the salespersons to judge the reaction of customers to their sales presentations, and thus give an opportunity to vary the message for better understanding. Essential elements of personal selling. Influential. In personal selling, the salesperson has to be very influential and convincing so that he can persuade the customers to buy the product. Flexibility. One of the basic elements of the personal selling is that it is flexible and the salesperson can modify his conversation for different customers. Face to face communication. Personal selling involves a direct communication with the customers which help them to know their customers' response. Providing information. The salespersons are given the responsibility of providing detailed information to a customer about the product that includes product's features, its uses, methods to use it, and benefits they will get by using it. Sales promotion, where on one hand, personal selling involves sharing information and convincing the customers. On other hand, it also focuses on the increasing its sales by winning its customers' confidence and thus helps in promoting sales. Collective benefit. Personal selling is a two-way process as parties on either side, buyer and seller, derive benefit from the concluding sale. Seller in the form of sale and a new customer, and buyer in the form of goods or services with a good deal. Some of the major objectives of personal selling are: the basic objective of a salesperson is to attract the customers by generating their interest in the product. The salesperson creates a desire in the customer to buy the product by highlighting the benefits and uses and explaining any doubts about the product. Every salesperson is interested in concluding the sale by convincing and making their customers to buy the product. Salespersons use their skill and experience not only to sell the products to sell the prospective buyers but also to gain their loyalty to buy the products again and again.
Personal selling involves personal and face to face interaction of the salespersons with the consumers, which makes it much better than the non personal forms of communication. It provides the salespersons the benefits of flexibility in its representations according to the expectations, needs, and buying motives of different consumers. It is also beneficial to the manufacturers as they get to know about the customer's response from direct communication between the salespersons and the customers. It helps them in focusing on providing those products which are more enjoyed and appreciated by the customers. So, we'll be discussing the role of personal selling from the point of view of both manufacturer as well as the customer.
Functions of personal selling. Personal selling is an important method of demonstrating the product to the customers and giving them full information about the product. Salesmanship is important from the buyer's point of view, as in many situations buyers need explanations regarding the quality, uses, price of the product, etc. This helps buyers in purchasing the desired products. If a product is not able to satisfy the needs of the customers, the information is forwarded to the manufacturers so that he can take appropriate steps accordingly. A good salesperson educates, instructs, and also guides the customers about the important features, benefits, and utilities of the product. Smart and creative salespersons are always willing to help customers and take their grievances and help the customers in solving their problems. Importance of personal selling for manufacturers or business firms. Personal selling is considered as an effective tool of marketing to increase the sales of a product. It is preferred over other tools as it has the element of flexibility. There is less wastage of efforts in personal selling as compared to other methods of promotion. A talented salesperson can easily attract the attention of the customers towards the merits, benefits, quality, etc. of the product. Direct interaction with the customers helps salesperson to make good relations and gain loyalty with the customers. Manufacturers depend a lot on salesperson to get the feedback and response of the customers regarding their products. It also helps in product improvement. Personal selling is highly useful to those manufacturers who are planning to introduce a new product in the market. Importance of personal selling for customers. The benefits provided by personal selling to the customers or society are discussed as follows. Personal selling includes providing information and educating the customers about new products available in the market. Salesperson guide and help customers in selecting goods accordingly to their requirements, tastes, and expectations. Demonstration by the salespersons help customers to know about the different uses of new products in the market. Personal selling process. The various stages in the process of personal selling are explained as follows. Pre-sale preparation, prospecting, pre-approach, approach, presentation, dealing with queries, closing the sale, post-sale activity, follow-up. Pre-sale preparation. The salesperson need to be well prepared before dealing with the customers. They must be carefully selected, properly trained, and motivated to effectively communicate with the prospective customers. Prospecting. Prospecting means locating the potential buyers who are likely to buy their products. The salesperson must demarcate between the prospect's future customer and suspects doubtful customers, as everyone is not would be customer. Pre-approach. Collecting the details of the prospective customers is known as pre-approach. It includes getting information about the individual, his likes, tastes, habits, need, capacity to buy, etc., to make sales presentation more appealing. Approach. Approach means face to face or direct meeting with the prospective customer. It is a very crucial stage as salespersons can create positive impression and bonding with the customers. The main objective is to build relationships rather than pushing for the product. Presentation. Sales presentation is the core essence of selling. It is the actual presentation of the salesperson where he attempts to convince the prospect and pursue him to take the decision in favor of the product. Dealing with queries. A sale is not considered as complete until all the queries or objections are solved by the salesperson. The capability of a salesperson can also be determined on the basis of how effectively he clarifies the queries. Closing the sale. The success in all earlier stages of sales talk, which were mainly focusing on convincing the prospective customers, finally leads to this last stage of closing the sale. The prospectives are turned into customers and final sale is made keeping in mind the needs and desires of the customers. Post sale activity. Post sale activity is also known as additional selling. It is undertaken to ensure the long lasting buyer seller relationship. Once the sale is closed, the salesperson further suggests the customers to buy some related or complementary products, resulting in increase in sale. For example, after selling a shirt, the salesperson may suggest the customer to buy a matching tie, trousers, etc. Follow up. Even after the closing and post sale activity, the sale is not considered to be completed. The salesperson must make sure that right product is delivered to the customer. Arrangements must be made for delivery and installations when required. The follow up may also be used to resolve customers' complaints or problems, post purchase experience or satisfaction, and their future needs. Sales objectives are not limited to the sales department only, but involves sales force and also higher authorities. Sales force here implies salesmen, sales supervisors, and branch managers. An organization must have strong foundation in order to support a sound sales management. Sales objective must not be confused with the selling objective, which are set for the sales department only. The sales objectives for the whole of the organization are discussed as follows: sales volume objective, market share objective, profitability objective. The first and foremost objective is the sales volume objective, which is measured in terms of total units of sale and is determined on the basis of sales forecasts made by the marketing research department. Market share objective represents company's share in the total sales and sales volume that the company desires to attain, or sales as a percentage of total industry sales. It may be further reduced to market segments, product groups, and customers. This objective gives a comparative account of the firm's exact standing along with others. The relationship between sales and gross profit represents another objective of the company, that is, sales profitability objective. It is the ratio of gross profit to net sales, which represents company's target contribution towards gross profit. The last but not the least is the expense objective, which is generally expressed as a percentage of operating expenses to sales and helping the company to put limits on its expenses.
Since personal selling involves one to one interaction between the marketeer and the customer, the success of personal selling is highly dependent upon the personal capability and competence of the people who are engaged in the personal selling. Hence, the marketeers have to recruit their sales teams very carefully, since the sales teams have got their own working conditions. Their recruitment, their selection has to be done very carefully. Recruitment is the process of finding out the qualified and eligible candidates. Let us try to discuss the recruitment and selection of the sales teams. The challenge is very different. Although traditionally recruitment and selection is the job of a personnel manager, but when it comes to sales, this is done by the sales teams themselves, because you can't directly observe the person when he is working into the field. So it is the sales teams who really know how they work, and they really know how they can keep a watch on their work. So that is why recruitment and selection is done by the sales people themselves. Recruitment is a process of finding out the eligible candidates, while selection process is the one wherein you select the best out of the people who have applied for a particular job. The selection process involves various steps, and each step eliminates the number of candidates. Let us discuss various steps that are adopted in a typical selection procedure. As all of you know, whenever there is a vacancy, at that time there is an advertisement that is given in a preferred media. Traditionally, the advertisements were given in the print media, or they were given in the trade magazine, or they were given on the company website, but nowadays a large number of applications are also being obtained from the online media. There are various websites who are inviting people, who are having their own databases, and you can get the people from there as well. Once the advertisement has been given, it needs to have a wide coverage also, so that you are able to reach out to a large number of people. After the advertisement, the second step is the application blank, in which you give an application form to the candidates wherein they can report their qualification, experience, and other qualities which are desired for undertaking a particular job. This information is used by the office personnel to classify the desirable and the undesirable candidates at the first stage. The next step is providing references and contacting those references. The candidate provides 2 or 3 people whom he knows who can vouch for his credibility and the qualities which he has mentioned into the form. After you have ascertained whether the persons whom you want to get into subsequent stages of selection are fit enough through the refereeing and initial screening, the next stage is usually the preliminary interview. The shortlisted candidates are called for a formal interview before a panel of experts. A formal conversation with the candidates in the interview gives them an opportunity and a better idea of understanding about their personality, their conversational skills, their voice, awareness, observation, responsiveness, etc. After the preliminary interview, the next step that is usually followed are the psychological tests, which create mock situations, real life situations, simulations, and an applicant's reaction and behavior in those situations is studied. This is to find out how the person will behave in the real life work arena wherein that person has applied for. After you have found the person worthy enough of performing the desired job, usually the next stage in recruitment and selection process is the medical examination. It is necessary to check the physical ability and health of the selected candidates before allocating them their area of operation. So the candidates are required to undergo certain medical tests, and after that only they are appointed, they are given the offer letter. The offer letter to join at a particular position is usually the last stage of the selection process, and a formal request letter in the form of appointment letter is issued to him. The applicant has to come and formally join the concerned department in response to the appointment letter that the applicant has received.
Training and placement of sales force. After selection of the candidates, the sales manager is vested with the duty to provide requisite training to them. The basic purpose of training is to prepare the fresh appointees, filling their inadequacies, polishing and enhancing their skills, etc., and making them more suitable and capable for the job. Methods of training. There are various methods of training used for providing training for various job assignments. These may be classified under the following two broad heads: individual training methods, induction training method, on the job training method, off the job training method, group training method, the lecture method, conference training method, round table method, other methods. Individual training methods. Induction training method. Induction training is organized to welcome and create a congenial environment for the new candidate and to make him work comfortably in the new environment. On the job training method. The salespersons are provided on the job training under the supervision of their respective seniors or supervisors. This kind of training enables them to have learning experience in the same conditions and processes in which he is expected to work during the actual job performance. Of the job training method, the employees are required to attend the training programs in institution outside the organization to further supplement their knowledge, experience, and skill. Group training method. The lecture method. This method of training is the easiest, quickest, simplest, and cheapest method of the providing training to the trainee. Under this method, lectures are delivered by senior supervisors and leading experts to a group of training consisting of 15 to 20 trainees who are sitting in a room. Conference training method. At times, large organizations especially arrange conferences addressed by top executives and to be attended by the salespersons collectively. This turns to be a really effective learning experience for them, followed by group discussions, brainstorming sessions, etc. Round table method. Under this method, the trainees are required to sit around the table under the leadership of a senior supervisor or expert. They discuss and express their ideas on a particular subject. It is considered to be one of the best methods of having mutual exchange of ideas among the trainees on a particular subject. In addition to this, there are several other methods of training such as discussions, role playing, sensitivity trainings, sales demonstration, etc., which are widely used by the organizations. Remuneration of sales force. The sales force play a very significant role for an organization as they are its representatives and render considerable impact on its sales and profits. The remuneration paid to the sales force can be in monetary and non-monetary form. It is fixed on the basis of skill, caliber, experience, and performance of a salesperson. An attractive remuneration package always work positively for better employer employee relationship, employee satisfaction, their loyalty and stability, and last but not the least, attracting best salesperson in future. The various methods used for paying remuneration can be: 1. Straight salary method, 2. Straight commission method, 3. Salary plus commission method, 4th. Salary and bonus method, and 5th. Salary, bonus and commission method. The employees can also be compensated through non-monetary means. These rewards can range from formal benefits such as health and dental insurance to more informal perks such as flex time or sick child leave, and also praise, recognition, promotion, job security, and satisfaction, etc. Performance appraisal of sales force. The sales managers or supervisors also appraise the performance of the salesperson working under their supervision. A personal supervision is kept on the salesperson by their respective supervisors to not only regulate their task but direct and guide them from time to time to help them improve their sales performance. In spite of various problems, subjective and objective, sales experts have developed their own methods of performance appraisal. These methods have been categorized into: 1. Qualitative methods, merit rating, customer option of salesmen, etc. And second, quantitative methods, analysis of sales records, ratio analysis, P&L statement, etc. It is expected that these appraisal methods, if employed effectively, can help in strengthening the relation between supervisor and subordinate.
Now let us recapitulate what we have learnt in this module. Personal selling involves direct face-to-face communication with the prospective customers. The people who are engaged into the sales process, they are recruited and selected through a well structured recruitment and selection process, and the people who are actually designated to perform the sales activities are made to understand the process of selling and are also monitored and also rewarded and trained from time to time.